Change your thoughts, change your life. A powerful statement. I'm starting my lecture today by quoting the title of a wonderful book by the late Dr. Wayne Dyer, amazing person, motivational and self-development speaker and author. And basically, it's a big statement, and I want to elaborate, talk a little bit more about that. And again, like I mentioned and I said in previous videos, wellness is not only just exercises and nutrition, it's also mental and it's spiritual. And that's why these days a lot of people are into meditation and yoga and deep breathing exercises, doing Tai Chi, doing so many different ways of approaching it. But basically, our thoughts are very powerful. And our thoughts are what's bogging us down and the reason why we are not healing, why we have so much stress. Our thinking. We need to start paying attention more on what we're thinking and what we're saying and how are we behaving, because that stirs up our chemistry. When we are upset, when we are angry, when we get worked up, it really changes your hormonal, your chemistry mix. And it can release a lot of different types of chemicals that may be harmful for our body. And this is why, it is known that basically yourself is the biggest enemy, your ego, your lack of control of yourself and your thoughts. So change the way you look at this, change the way you think. So that way everything you do and everything you see will appear differently. If you have a negative view about something or somebody, just change it. Focus on the positive aspect of it. Try to eliminate anything that is negative, okay? And it's how you view it, it will come back to you. If you view a person or a place or a situation as something bad or not good, that's how it's going to be projected, and that's how it's going to be basically translated in your life. So we need to really rethink and look within ourselves and clear our body and minds from all this negative emotions, negative thoughts, okay? And so when we exercise, of course, it helps us tap into these systems. Each muscle is basically through the meridian system, okay? And a quick review on the meridians. These are the electromagnetic energy of our body, okay? They're connected to the chakras, which connect you to your big universe, to the abundant universe. But now those meridians, they operate in your body and they travel around, they wrap around those organs, and they're interconnected and connected to the muscles of all your body. So when you exercise, okay, those muscles tap into those organs, releases the emotion that is associated with that organ. Every organ of your body will store a specific negative emotion. That's why when people talk about exercises releases stress, there's a blueprint for that. And basically, that muscle will tap into, let's say, the kidneys, adrenals. That's the place of general stress and fear. So then by, let's say, you work in the low back area and working also the calf muscles. It's a little bit complex and based on the meridian, because there's a lot of points and different muscles that interconnect. But let's say you're doing the calf muscles particular, and they are known to be major pressure points, and you're working them out. You're really tapping into the kidneys and adrenals, and that helps you release that stress out of your body. So that's important. Now, while we're doing this, okay, whatever negative emotion, whenever negative thoughts pops up, it's very important to release that, and to release it not anywhere, but to connect to the big universe, to the source, to the creator, which we identified previously, but I will review it again as the source of all good, okay? It's the creator, it's the source of all goodness. And so therefore, we connect to it in order to harvest and pull in chi, positivity, into our body. And we release all the negative stuff to it so it can dispose it and handle it for us, okay? So when we start paying attention to our thoughts And then anything negative that comes our way, we should look at it as like it's an opportunity to release it from our body, not to entertain that negative thought and get upset more and get worked up and change your hormonal chemistry. So people are doing it to themselves. People are harming themselves. That's why diabetes and heart disease and hypertension, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, many other autoimmune diseases of many sorts, immune system, people get sick a lot and don't recover quickly enough, is because they're not able to release the negative stress that they internalize. Of course, exercise is one method to tapping into that, but then we need to do more. We need to focus on doing meditation on a regular basis, um, doing deep breathing exercises. Of course, we have to have a good, healthy diet. You don't have to be fanatical about your diet, but eat healthy. Move away from unhealthy foods. Supplement with the vitamins that is necessary for you based on your lifestyle. Not everybody will require to take all the vitamins and everything. Everybody's different based on their body, on their size, depends on the work they do, how much energy they need or not. So everybody's a little different, but we want to eat healthy. And there's lectures about that. And I talked briefly about nutrition, and that's not the discussion today. But nutrition definitely is important, and exercise. And but I'm focusing on the mind, body, the spirit. It's your relationship with the source, with the creator, with God. I mean, you can use whatever terminology that works best for you, but essentially we're talking about the same thing. We're talking about the source of all the goodness, all abundance of everything that we need. So we need to constantly be aware of that. And every behavior and everything we do, we need to be connected. Okay? And as we are constantly connected, then we're able to handle whatever situation. If we're in a situation where we get angry or we get worked up or we get stressed, when we're connected, we're able to release that immediately. And hopefully we do these exercises and these meditations and whatever different techniques we use, we do it on a regular basis as exercises until it becomes part of us and it becomes natural. It becomes us. We don't even think about it anymore. We're living in a meditative state. Okay? Now, it takes time and it takes effort, just like exercising in order to get in shape. You have to put the effort, you have to stretch, you have to go and be consistent. With time, you develop strong muscles. Same thing with spirituality. It takes time. You have to be patient. And don't be so hard on yourself and don't try to be impatient. Be patient. Learn things. Pay attention to your environment. Pay attention, things that come to you. Because as soon as you embrace that road and you start becoming aware of it, all of a sudden more and more information comes to you. The source, the creator, will send you information. It will come to you directly and indirectly through loved ones or through strangers. You could be sometime watching TV or on the news or something where some information comes and it will be that piece of the puzzle that you were missing. Okay? But pay attention to everything. Of course, you want to avoid negative sources, you want to avoid negative people, avoid situation where there's nothing positive or people are just toxic. Of course, you have to select the environment properly, avoid toxic environment as much as you can. So that way you kind of get a hold of yourself and you empower yourself. Once you're strong and once you have the connection and you have grown spiritually and raised your frequency and you're connected and you're in a constant meditative state, then you have no fear and you can interact with more people. Even if you're in a toxic environment, that environment will not affect you because what you have done is you created like your own, basically, atmosphere. Just like Earth has its own ozone layers and different atmosphere. It protects it from all the debris and the junk that falls on Earth. Tons of metals and different degree from space comes on Earth, but then the Earth atmosphere burns it out. So by the time it lands on the ground, it's ashes. Same thing with you. You develop that spiritual you raise your frequency, okay? So then, therefore, you connect to the higher consciousness, to the big universe. So that is synonymous as you're utilizing the upper three chakras, which are your spiritual part of you, the cable that connects to the higher self. The lower three connects to your lower self, to your physical being. And of course, the heart is being as the divider and the portal and the connection to that universe. I did, there's some previous lectures I talked about how you are in the center of the universe and the heart is the portal. I'll refer you to that lecture because I took a little bit more deep with depth in that. Okay, so I'm just tying up all the different pieces of the puzzle to realize, to make you realize that, you know, part of being well and being happy and being healthy and you know, all of good things in life is tied up to your spiritual well-being. It's your connection to that source, to the creator. So therefore, we have to always stay positive. So that's why change your thoughts, change the way you look at things. Things you look at change, okay? When things come toward you and you're not happy, someone says something, don't be offended right away. Don't take it in a negative way. Take a few breaths and relax. Sometimes we know we get caught off guard and we react. But then step away and just take a few breaths and recompose yourself. And then realize, say, okay, so what just happened? Okay, well, you know, maybe there's a message for you. Maybe this is testing and strengthening your patience, strengthening your, you know, part of the journey in order to move from point A to point B and continue in our journey. We have to master each step. Okay, so in our journey, everybody has their own blueprint. We're all different. Some of us are similar. Sometimes we're together in the same road and all of a sudden we go east and west. Some people will rejoin again, some will not. And this is where the uniqueness of this, everybody has their own blueprint based on the roadmap that is needed to get that person to a good place. Okay, so you have to trust it. Okay, and keep positive thoughts, and whatever criticism come to you or feedback, good or bad, you hear things that everybody likes to hear, nice word, but sometimes some harsh words or something unpleasant words come to our way for some reason or another. It could be the other person or the situation is not the best, but don't let that activate you and bring you down. Okay, you have to be very careful. So you want to always stay at the level that you're at high frequency and continue to go up. Okay, we are in this third dimension, so therefore we are dealing with all that low energy every day. Everybody has to deal with a work, school, relationship, friends, the public. You know, we're immersed into that, so therefore we're constantly in touch with all this. So, but we have to make sure that it doesn't engage us and doesn't bring us down. If somebody is running in low frequency or they're in a bad place, don't let those people take you down. Okay, be careful. Okay, look at it as that person is just in a journey, but they haven't gotten to the level where you're at. So be humble. Don't be arrogant. Show that you know better. Be nice. Say kind words. It's about being kind. It's not about being right. And this is also another um, famous quote for the late Dr. Dyer, and he says that, you know, it's not about being right. It's about being kind. Do what brings peace. Kindness always scores a lot because this is where, unfortunately, you know, a lot of people get caught up in that, and people sometimes know something, and then the other person that says something negative or wrong, and then the person wants to correct them, but that's wrong, and then the other was no, it's right, and each one could be the ego hanging on to it. You know, they know it's wrong and they're still hanging on to it, or they could be completely in the dark and they're not knowing it. You know, but the person, let's say a knower, let's say you know what's right, but then if you continue your argument with that person, okay, then you're gonna just stir things up even more. So just be kind, bring kindness. Okay, no problem, you're right. Okay, accept it, and just give them a little slack with that person, and just try to make peace in the environment. That's what it's about. The more you do that, you'll be happier in your life. Okay? Because there's always challenges, especially in relationships. Okay? So the more you develop yourself and you grow, you become the mature you, the spiritual you, the more the better chances you have a better relationship. Even if you end up with, if you have a partner that are not the same wavelength, then they're not on the same level of the journey, but because you're up here, maybe you can help that person by through kindness, through peace and love. Okay, you can maybe be the example and bring that person up to speed. Okay, but again, yeah, as we are, as our frequency rises, and that means we are hovering at a higher frequency, we are closer, we're in connection with the source, with the creator. And of course, there's no end to that. When people refer to the concept of the third eye, when people say, oh, I'm meditating or I'm trying to raise my frequency so I can open my third eye. Well, everybody has a third eye, and everybody's third eye is open to some degree or another. Because the third eye is when you close your eyes or when you imagine things in your mind, that's your third eye that works. When you imagine, you have images. Now just imagine an airplane flying. Okay, that's your third eye. Okay, it's not your visual eyes, the physical eyes, because there's nothing flying in front of you. But if you can imagine, let's say, a bird or airplane, that's your third eye, just to give you an example. But of course, that goes way beyond. The third eye opening is beyond infinity. It's a the whole dimension by itself. Okay? So so it is, you have to be patient, and you, as you continue your journey and moving and advancing, okay, your third eye gets stronger and stronger. Your third eye, I like to refer more as spiritual eye, or eye of the heart, or your inner eye. It sounds better because that is really it. You know, that is, it's about that. It's the eye to the inner you, through the portal of your heart that sees through other, traverses through other universes, and gets as far as, depends on your growth, that will establish how far your third eye is.